Okay. I should have just gotten right into it, but I forgot to turn on my laptop to look at chat and stuff, so let me just do that really quickly. Which is okay, we're just starting it up anyways. When some people get in here, I have a new mic I can set up and test out. So that'll be exciting to see if it works better or not. Yeah, so until someone shows up and I can test out the mic, let me just get right into it. Oh yeah, she was talking to this guy last.
最後の最後にね。やっぱりそうだった。メッセージボトルを記したのはベアトリーチェ本人だった。
そいつはクールだ。
そいつはクールだ。
魔女は実在するで決着で。
さあね。寝ていい？あのおしゃべり教授。きっと講義では自分の世界に入っちゃって寝ちゃう子続出だと思うわ。
どうぞどうぞお休みを。
どうぞどうぞお休
み。しかしうまくいくもんね。あいつ私のことスマデラだと最後まで信じてたわ。
Oh, so he didn't know he was talking to one of the... Wait, doesn't he know that Sumurata, like, is still related to the death? So he still should have been bragging? I don't know. The Sumurata family had set up a web beforehand around any people Angie might try to contact. They had offered a reward to anyone who could take Ushiromiya Angie into custody if she appeared. Angie had foreseen that and snatched it away. Yoink. She called herself a Sumurata. Oh, Sumadera. Why do I call it Sumurata? I'm so silly. I'm sorry. Sumadera. Why did I do that? Oh, well. And after clearly tricking the man by saying her own subordinates would set up an ambush so he didn't need to worry about it, she had taken him outside. So when the Sumurata family pursuers reached the professor's house, there was no longer anyone there.
午前中にスマデラを名乗る若い男女が訪れ、教授を連れ出したきり、まだ帰宅しないそうです。
Hi, Asteroid! Nipa! 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 I wanted to make sure it was good because the first one was a little rough. Asteroid, I actually have a new mic that I could test out if you want to let me know if it's better or not, or if I should stay with this one, if you don't mind letting me know. Just let me know if you're okay with that and I'll switch really quick to it. Hi there! Yeah, I hope you're doing well too, by the way. Glad to see you again. I saw you join my Discord, yay! That actually motivated me to stream because I woke up later today. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll stream. Okay, let me switch to my other mic and let me know if it's better or worse. Okay, hello? It should be a lot louder, but it also might be more sensitive, so what do you think? I think let me see if you can hear the clicking. Can you hear the clicking? If I click like that, can you hear it? Wow, it makes you sound. I know, right? It's like, so I usually use my headset mic, and now I'm using like a mic, like it's like a real thing. You know what I mean? Like it stands up on its own. So which do you prefer? Which do you think is better? Just let me know. The classic? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I just wanted to double check. Let me switch back. Okay, hello. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Ashley, for helping me out. I just wanted to double check.
教授もお戻りになるだろうさ。そしたらソチャでも振る舞わないとね。
了解しました。
了解しました。
私を手玉に取ったつもりかしら。やんちゃな子なんだから。
With a demonic look on her face, Kasumi violently stamped her heel. She scares me. I'll teach you about my magic of origins. No, I taught you before, right? Oh, this is Maria. And you used it before. Did you forget? You are also a witch apprentice, Angie, with your name entered into the marriage sorcery, weren't you?
私も魔女に加えてもらったんだっけ。
I closed Maria's diary and flopped down on the very high-class looking bed. I'd slept deeply for a long time in the car, so it took longer than usual for drowsiness to set in, and I read the diary as I waited. This was a super expensive hotel in the city. Since it was often used by the rich and famous, they were very big on confidentiality. That made it very convenient for Angie to escape her pursuers. The idea that renegades should spend their night hiding in cheap hotels is a commoner's way of thinking. To Angie, who possessed all the wealth of the Ushiromiya family, renegade life was comfortable indeed. Of course, even though he was a guard, Amakusa was a man and therefore in a separate room. Angie used the bedroom of that suite, and Amakusa lay on the sofa in the living room. According to Amakusa, the sofas here were more pleasant than his own beds had been recently. Poor guy. When I looked at the clock, I saw that it was almost 2 in the middle of the night. I'm still not getting sleepy. I sighed deeply. At that time, even though there was no wind, I had the feeling that Maria Onechan's diary fluttered. Then Onechan appeared. Her form was no longer the normal one I'd known. She was wearing the dress that Beatrice had given her after acknowledging her as a witch.
もう寝ないと明日が辛いよ。私も魔女なら魔法が使えるのよね。うん、使えるよ。教えてあげたでしょ、使い方。昔は使えたはずだよ。覚えてる。使いたくなった。寂しくなった？別に。毎日枕が違うくらいのことで辛くなんてならないわ。魔法の最初の一歩は寂しいからとか、そのくらいのささやかな理由でいいの。眠くなるまでの暇つぶしだとしても。うん。エンジがもう一度魔法のことを思い出してくれて。
Hey Golden Sorcerer, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Going good for me too, just chillin'. It's been quite a long time since I last used magic. At one point with Maria Onechan's introduction, I touched a corner of it and opened the door a tiny bit. So I should still remember that sensation.
今のエンジェはかなり魔法の力が衰えてる。基本に忠実じゃないと難しいよ。うん。四方を確認。静かな空間を確保。天草さんは？寝てるわ。
After opening the door of the living room a crack, I could see the blanket caterpillar on the sofa roll over in its sleep.
今のエンジェの弱い魔力では半魔法力の影響を受けすぎる。人の姿だけじゃない、声も音も気配さえもエンジェの魔法の邪魔をする。それらを完璧に立って古代魔術師たちがアトリエを閉ざして孤独を守ったように。覚えてるわ。人間の存在自体が魔法を妨げる。故に人に魔法を見せるということそのものがとても高位な魔女の証だったわね。
Maybe that's why Beatrice can't show Battler her magic just straight up to prove that she's a witch. That could be why she has to do the game like that to get him to acknowledge it, maybe. Obtain a quiet space for yourself alone. That should be enough to prepare a space to use magic.
次によりしろ。今のエンジェには自転車の補助輪、いえチェーンくらい大事。これは当然無理よね。
Angie rubbed her own head. She wore hair accessories there, with pink gems attached. They felt a little childish for Angie, but she never took them off, not even for a single day.
今のエンジェにはとても無理。あの日から一日も休むことなく修行していたなら、あるいは今頃は呼び出すことができたかもしれないね。今から修行したらどのくらいかかるの？魔女の修行は幼き日の1年が老いの10年と同じ価値があると言われてる。相当の覚悟がいるよ。それこそ後ろ宮金蔵くらい。ピアノもバイオリンも魔法も幼い頃からの英才教育が大事なのね。今のエンジェは初めて魔法を使えた時よりもその力が落ちている。無理をしないで基本に忠実に。
After stubbornly rubbing those things on my head one more time, I gave up. Then I started fishing through the knapsack, looking for anything that might make a good vessel.
これならよりしろにはぴったりじゃない？懐かしい。それならば今のエンジェでも召喚できると思うよ。それには今主がいない。エンジェが新しい主になるのも可能なはず。
Among the things that looked like good vessels, I took the one I thought might possess the strongest magical power and set it on the side table near the bed with a clatter. It was a shady-looking, stake-shaped weapon with an occult design inscribed on it. Wait, what? Plot twist, Angie was the murderer this whole time, the little 6-year-old. It was one of the 7 stakes of purgatory, which the witch used to offer sacrifices. When the police had been searching the family's possession, they had collected a large amount of junk. After the investigation had finished, these had been politely returned to the Ushinomiya family. Finding something I'd seen in the pictures of Maria's diary, I took it home with me. Oh, okay. That's how she got it.
煉獄の七杭はもともと7本で一揃いだった。気の毒にね。今はもう彼女1本だけ。
I wonder who it is. One-chan smiled, looking lonely. I pulled another book out of the knapsack. This was also old-fashioned, and you can tell that it was an occult book just by looking. But its contents were plain. It was one of One-chan's elaborate notebooks. This wasn't a diary. This was a grimoire, which she had written as a witch. The 7 stakes of purgatory are Beatrice's furniture, created by her and employed only for her sake. But since Beatrice is also a witch of Mariage Sorciere, I don't know, they could be employed by Maria, a witch of the same alliance. For that reason, the method of summoning, sorry for yawning, the 7 stakes of purgatory and how to handle them was written about in great detail in Maria Nachan's grimoire. And as another person with their name registered in that alliance, I was also permitted to employ them.
この杭は7姉妹の誰？マリアの魔導書に 彼女らの特徴がよく記されてるよ。七杭の姉妹は名前を間違えられることをとても嫌う。召喚する前によく彼女らの名前を思い出して。
A packed page told of the seven stakes of purgatory. It described the seven sisters in great detail. Yes, I think I memorized almost this entire page once in the past. I remember when Battler got really upset with Beatrice in the anime. Oh, you mean when he like wouldn't talk to her and stuff? Like and like refused to be her partner, you mean? The more I read it, the more I started to remember. I don't know how the anime is. I've only played the game, so. By the pictures and characteristics written on the grimoire, I could tell that the stake in my hand was Mammon's stake. Oh, Mammon of Greed. In the past, I hadn't had any stakes, so I summoned them without any vessel. So this was the first time I had clearly seen any of the 7 stakes, let alone Mammon.
マモン五女、7つの大罪の強欲を司る。
Yeah, Beatrice got him really mad with all the games she was doing for fun, but didn't know it was actual torture to Battler. Battler said his piece and Beatrice felt bad. Yeah, I remember.
すごい子よね。強欲は向上心、上昇志向、生きる強さなども司る。決して悪い意味だけではないんだよ。
Yeah, Battler like was
口は
not
悪いけど
having it
と
at
ても頑張り
all.
屋さんな子だし。
Greed also controls aspirations, the desire to improve oneself, and the strength to live. Strength, not strengthen.
そうね。欲がないってことは、つまり生きてる理由がないってことだし。
For a while, I heightened my concentration and digested the information that was written about Mammon. The more summoners knows about the target that's being summoned, the better. Knowledge is connected to magical power. I began to fill my head with knowledge about Mammon, raising a necessary amount of magical power for a summoning.
魔導書ってちょっとだけ面白いわね。下手くそな小説を読むよりよっぽど面白いかもしれない。なんだか懐かしい気持ちになるわ。魔導書はただ文字を読み取るだけじゃなく、行間から世界を膨らませたり、挿絵から世界を生み出したりと、様々な想像を要求されるの。生み出す力。
The anime for Umineko is really bad. It was done before the story is finished, so they messed up a lot of things, sadly. I really wish it gets a remake. Well, they remade the Higurashi, right? So maybe they'll remake
こ
Umineko?
れを持つエンジェになら、
Hopefully. I'm sorry it wasn't that good. That sucks that it went ahead of the story. So it probably... Oh, man. Yeah, I'll have to see. Everyone always talks about the... I know I gave up on the Higurashi anime because it made me mad how they did Shion. Oh, it's not a remake, I told you. Well, you know what I meant by that. I meant that they came out with a new Higurashi anime. And so, maybe they'll come out with a new Umineko. My bad. But, I know everyone... I know I told you about why I stopped the Higurashi, but I'm thinking maybe after I finish Umineko, like the answer arcs too, I might go back and grit my teeth and watch the anime anyway, just so that I can get to the new one, and then just see. I'll have to see about that. BRB, I did all the Mega Man Zero games. This has made me a hungry boy. Oh yeah, go get some food. Go get some yummies. And congrats on doing all the Mega Man Zero games. That's insane.
エンジェになら理解できるってマリアはずっと知ってたもの。
Good job. You're such a gamer, for real.
これで十分だと思う。
We haven't finished one fucking game here. I'm like in the middle of so many games.
大体読み終わった。やってみる。
That's okay.
しっかりね。
I'll get
い
through
ざ
them
という時に
eventually.
備えて私の護符を。今の君は 同盟の条約に守られてない。マモンは少し喧嘩っ早いところがある子。あるいはまだ恨んでるかも。注意して。
身につけることにする。
Why would she bear a grudge? To who? For what? Beatrice for using her like that? The 7 stakes of purgatory as furniture to be used to make sacrifices for a ceremony were treated as beings inferior even to weapons. Oh yeah, that's why she has a grudge. These games are kinda nuts doing all of the Mega Man X, and Mega Man Zero games. All 25 of them? In like 2 or 3 months? Holy crap, dude. That is insane. You're such a gamer. Hey King Rude. Hope you're doing well. Astro was just telling us how much of a fucking god gamer he was. He beat 25 games in 2 or 3 months. Isn't that insane? Or they did. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's insane. But that was only when compared to the other demons. Right now, Angie's trying to summon one of the 7 sisters of Purgatory. I'm a he? Okay, yeah. I assumed, and then I felt bad. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have assumed. So, but good to know. But that was only when compared to other demons. To humans, furniture is something to be feared. I fished through the knapsack again, took out a bracelet charm with the scorpion medal I'd gotten from Maria Onechan long ago and put it on my arm. In the past I hadn't needed something like this, but I need insurance.
大丈夫。それにはまだ十分な魔法防御が備わってる。それを身につけている限り絶対に大丈夫。
Maria Onechan's magical power, which had been specially put into this charm, had been enough to earn even Beatrice's admiration. While it may have looked like something cheap to a human who couldn't understand magic, its magical worth was incalculable. I remember the bracelet she gave Battler and Jessica.
さあさあ、おいでなす。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。
I focused my mind. I made the magic repelling toxin that filled my body 0. Imagine an untainted vast space. Doubts and common sense resist magic. This is a cool song. I don't think we've heard this before. Make the resistance 0 and erase the burden on the magical power. Inside my head was the image of a vast space. It was a nighttime world where I floated in the air and neon stars over the ground sparkled. Oh yeah, King Rude and Golden Sorcerer, I already asked Astroy, but I have another mic, and let me know if you guys want me to switch to it to see if you guys like it better. I know Astroy likes the original, but I'll have to see what the general consensus is. Switch in iTunes. Okay, cool. Let me switch really quick. Properties. Okay, hello. I know it's going to be a lot louder. It's like a mic, but it's also a lot more sensitive. So, like, can you hear this mouse clicking? I think you might be able to. I don't know, though, honestly. But yeah, testing. Here's the other mic. Hello. I think you can hear when I, like, literally just touch the keyboard. Yeah, like, I'm not even pressing the keys. Isn't that insane? I'm just, like, touching it. Yeah. So I think it's up to you guys if you're okay with it being louder but more sensitive, or if I should just go back to the other one. I am getting, like, a foam thingy to put on top of it. You don't mind the clicking? Okay. Okay, I can turn it down a little bit. Maybe that'll help.
So let's do that. Okay, let me get back into it. It was a nighttime world where I floated in the air and the neon stars over the ground sparkled. I'm fine with any of them? Okay. If the clicking becomes too much for anyone, just let me know and I'll switch back. Because we're just testing out. Because I am getting a foam thing to put over it and that might help a little bit. I don't know. In a world of vast night sky with no obstructions, I imagined the wind blowing through at will. At that time, in a room where there shouldn't have been any wind, the free nighttime wind kicked up a cyclone. The long-forgotten sensation raced through my entire body. It was the unique feeling of exultation that comes from using magic. Oh, she did it! Mammon's stake, which I held out in my hand, gradually began to make me feel a pale light. A twisting cyclone with the stake at the center. The hefty stake floated a bit into the air. Mikoto dayo.
君から才能を奪わなかったね。
さあさあおいでなす罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七悔が一つ、強欲のマモン。その姿を私に見せなさい。
After I raised my hands bit by bit, lifting them higher than my head, as though it was being attracted upwards, Mammon's stake once again floated high up into the air and gradually began to shake. The shaking began to grow faster, and it burst. With a speed faster than the eye could follow, it flew around, violently rebounding off the walls of the room. The terrible sound of it dancing around threatened to make me flinch. However, I must not lose my mental concentration. Then the stake, which had been flying around at incredible speed, finally stopped and faced me. It was in the air just a few centimeters away from my forehead and held back by the defensive barrier created by the scorpion charm. It had tried to break the defensive barrier, eating at it with an incredible power, but Maria Onechan's barrier wouldn't be broken so easily. The stake muttered hatefully. It was probably safe to say the scorpion charm saved me. Without that, my attempt at killing time until I got sleepy would have killed my time for all eternity. That's funny. When Mammon's stake realized that it was unable to gouge me. Mammon-chan, there she is. She's such a cutie. It gave up and grew docile, changing its form to that of a stake into a human. In the same old outfit I'd never be able to walk around outside in. In an old oh, never mind, sorry. Although you could say it suited her in a sort of demonic sort of way. It's such a cute outfit.
随分とみすぼらしい魔力だけど、本当にエンジェ様？
お久しぶりね、マモン。元気にしてた？
てっきりもう約5面の家具は何度で朽ち果てるだけだと思ってました。
Aww.
それでこれはどういう余興で？まさか私の所有者がエンジ様とでもおっしゃるつもりで？うん、エンジが君の主人だよ。マリア教、これはお見苦しいところ。先ほどの結界はマリア教の。うん、今のエンジじゃひょっとしたら君にやられてしまうかもしれないお符を貸したの。エンジ様、何なりとご命令を。
Tell her to give herself a big hug.
私が必要とされるということは、新しい儀式を、新しい生贄を、最も私を使いこなし、自らの手を汚す。
That's only if you're willing to handle me yourself. So that means Beatrice used the stakes to kill people, right? That seems like a really big hint. Only if you're willing to handle me yourself. Because that can be interpreted in two ways, right? It can be interpreted as handle me like handle the magical power, or literally handle, like put the stake in your hands and get your hands dirty by killing. So, I don't know.
その役割は私はもう求めてないわ。昔同様にただ話し相手になってくれるだけで十分よ。
Much to think about.
ええ、それがお望みでしたら、家具は使われてこそ家具。お呼び出しいただいただけで光栄ですとも、園児様。
Aww. Mammon had a slightly complicated smile on her face. She accepted her new master because Maria had told her to, but it looked like she hadn't gotten over her discontent at working with Angie with her frail magical power. Perhaps she had some other reason for hating Angie, but for now it seemed that she couldn't disobey even if she wasn't happy about it.
それで、私は何をすれば？
わからない。適当に賑やかにして昔みたいに。
お言葉ですが、多分園児様がおっしゃる賑やかさとは、私一人では難しいかとお忘れで。そうだね。7姉妹はみんなが揃うと本当に賑やかだったもんね。でも今の園児の魔力じゃマモンを呼び出すのが精一杯だと思う。他の6人の杭も紛失してる。恐れながらマリア卿、私の杭を経由し7姉妹に語りかけ呼び出すことは不可能ではないかと。私を刺激されるのでしたら、その程度の力は園児様にはお持ちいただきたいところですが。
Mammon grinned. Apparently she wanted me to summon the other sisters without a vessel, I see. Since she's unable to satisfy herself with being summoned alone, she's asking for the other sisters to be summoned as well. I get it, greed. Yes, she was like this back then, wasn't she? To furniture, the times during which they are used are bliss. No matter how badly they are exploited, being used is furniture's joy. On the contrary, regardless of how nice you are to them, not being given a job is more painful than anything in their eyes. Mammon spoke in a challenging way, but she wanted me to summon the other sisters somehow and rescue them from the world of nothingness. If that's the case, all she's got to do is say so. These demon people can never just say what they mean.
Angie.
Aww.
無理しないで。マモンを呼び出せただけでリハビリには十分だよ。
あら、一人だけでリハビリ、どうせ暇つぶしよ。いいわ、マモン。乗りかかった船だわ。呼べるところまで呼んであげる。
本当に？さすが園児様。
Aww.
さあさあ、早く早く。
Apparently, even though she'd asked, Mammon hadn't really expected Angie to do that. She hopped around, badgering Angie to summon the other sisters. Summoning Mammon alone consumed a considerable amount of physical and magical power. Probably be pretty tough to do 6 more. I'm awed by the magical power of those who can summon sisters like this at will at the snap of their fingers, and who therefore reach the level where they can be called witches.
マモン、エンジェに無理をさせないで。エンジェはまだ本調子じゃないから。エンジェ様はみんなを召喚してくれるって言いました。
Yeah, I was about to say, actually, I only said I'd call as many as I could. I guess that's greed for you.
無理しないで、エンジェ。もう今日は休んだ。君は十分疲れてるよ。
いいわよ、どうせ暇つぶし。
This time, there's no vessel. I'll have to strengthen the image from my knowledge of the grimoire and materialize them with just that. I held my hands out into the air, replaying in my head the sensation from when I'd summoned Mammon. I'm acquainted with all the 7 sisters, right? I've got to remember that time long ago, when I talked with them. Once again, the power of magic began to fill me up. It let off a faint yet distinct pale light from both my hands.
エンジ様、しっかりしっかり頑張って。ねえマリア卿、エンジ様は必ずみんなを呼び出してくださいます。また7姉妹は再会できますよね。
Aw, she misses her sisters so much.
きっとね。でもそれが今夜という保証はないよ。エンジ様ならできます。エンジ様、お願い。末っ子のアスモから。
アスモデウス7女。わかった。末っ子から順番に呼ぶわ。
A strand of hot sweat dripped down from my forehead. This really is going to be one hell of a burden to carry. The pale light in the space began to slowly form in the outline of a girl. There was no vessel, however, as I held strong conviction that she definitely did exist there as a core. Her form began to crystallize, her outline became distinct, and the form of the youngest 7 sisters, Asmodeus, was finally created. Yay, she did it!
私を呼び出したのは誰なの？エンジ様が私たちをみんな蘇らせてくれるって。
No, I didn't.
エンジ様、ありがとう。次はベルゼを。
ベルゼブブ6条。暴食のベルゼブブ。さあさあ、おいでなさい。
This rate, I wonder how many I'll be able to summon if I can't focus. This is probably it. The pale light made out an outline and formed into Beelzebub. Mammon and Asmo jumped onto Beelzebub, creating the reunion. I'd summoned 3 people at once. My head was throbbing. Gotta summon the next one without stopping for a break. Oh my god, she's doing it. No, I... No, I didn't.
そうね。約束したわ。すぐにがいつのこととは約束しなかったけど。
だから守ってじゃないと私は今日までそれを忘れていたエンジェ様を許さない。
さあさあ、ほい煉獄の
Gotta catch 'em all.
憤怒のサタン。
My mind's getting hazy, but I'll call. Even though I'd forgotten about those days, even though I'd never thought of that time as anything but sad and lonely. Because the short time I spent with them was fun, without a doubt. Oh, you're not gonna be lonely with all of your sisters here, and all of your friends, I mean.
何やってるのよ、あんたたち。私たちが井戸端会議をするだけでどれだけエンジェ様に負担をかけてるか分かってんの？
Satan, who apparently figured out the situation immediately after being summoned, cried out in a loud voice, telling her sisters off. That loud voice made my consciousness hazy again.
私たちはベアトリーチェ様より休むことを許された。再びお役に立てる機会を賜るどころか、新しい主人の負担になるなんて、そんなの早く姿を消しなさい。
There surely is Satan around.
姿を消す。お前たちも姿を消せ。それがこの瞬間、一番エンジェ様のお役に立つ。
私はみんなを呼び出してもらえるまでは嫌。私もお腹すいた。じゃなくて、やっと再会したばかりなのに、もう帰る。
わがまま言ってんじゃないわよ。ほら、とっとと姿。ほら、アスもさっさと消えなさい。
サタン姉さんがいつも末っ子からなんてずるい。
退屈しない。
もう今のエンジェには限界を超えてる。
Aw, Angie, with 5 of them summoned and messing around as they pleased, the load was far too heavy with me with the meager magical power I had at this moment. This is it. As my consciousness went hazy, I fell over to the bed. Have beds always felt this soft? It seemed that the sisters were still squabbling together as much as they liked. For a way to kill time until drowsiness comes to get me, this is enough. Feeling something warm and nostalgic in the sisters' liveliness, I sank into a world of deep sleep. At the entrance to my dream world, I felt Maria One-chan and Sakutaro waiting to receive me.
お疲れ様。そして頑張ったね。ウリュウ、おかえり、エンジェ。
Welcome back, huh? Then I should respond like this. Okaeri. Or is it Tadaima? I don't remember if you say Tadaima or Okaeri Nasai first. That's right. Just once in the past, I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accepted that the only power that could save me from those sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy was the thing called magic, and I received Maria's introduction to the basics.
広大な空間をイメージ。峠のドライブインから麓を見下ろした時の風景。こう。
Projected that scene from a memory into my mental world. Normal girls get over their fascination with magical girls when they leave elementary school. So seriously training to use magic at this age was embarrassing even for me. But even that embarrassed feeling felt pleasant to me now. Right then, I was learning mental concentration from Maria One-san in order to use magic, but it wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as teaching a person to wiggle their ears by showing them. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain the mental concentration for using magic. So I remembered that time from my younger days when my family had gone on a small vacation, when I had looked down towards the base from a viewing platform at a rest to stop on a peak. Tadaima is when you get home. Okaeri is what? Oh, okay, thank you. So, Angie would say Tadaima. And I tried painting this scene in my mental world.
まだまだ狭い。もっともっと広い空間をイメージ。そしてエンジェだけの新象世界を作り上げるの。まだまだイメージが霞んでる。空気に温度もないし、風もない、匂いもない。まだまだ世界が希薄。それらは後でもいいから、今はとにかくもっと広い世界をイメージして。ウリュウ、どうして広い空間のイメージが必要なの？人間の体内には生まれながらにして魔法を妨げる毒素があるんだよ。その毒素を浄化しないと魔法はうまく使えないの。そのために有効な方法の一つが広大な空間をイメージすることなんだよ。
さっきは飛行機の窓から見た世界を思い描いたけど、それもダメだったわ。もっと広大な世界なんて見当もつかない。
ならマリアの持つ広大な世界をエンジェにも教えてあげればいいよ。そしたらエンジェにもイメージがしやすくなるんじゃない？ウリュウ。
そうね。私もお姉ちゃんはどんな世界をイメージして魔法を使ってるのか興味があるわ。私もそれを参考にする。
ダメだよ。新象世界は広大で、そして自分以外に一切遮るものがない世界。
So just like a white plane? Like in that one SpongeBob episode where Squidward gets sent into the future where it's all white?
だから 新象世界は誰にも明かしちゃダメなの。
I love SpongeBob so much.
だからエンジェも
What a good
新
show.
象世界を描けたら、それは自分だけの秘密の世界にするんだよ。
ウリオ、マリアケチンボ。
ありがとうサクタラ。修行に近道なしってわけだわ。努力してみる。大丈夫、ヒントは十分もらえてるわ。
ウリ
For some reason, it's so easy to remember SpongeBob episodes. I know, right? They're just so impactful and memorable. You know what one I think about all the time? You know when they were racing snails and Patrick had a fucking rock? I always think of that moment where he pats it and he says, like, it's okay, you take your time. I always think, because it was so wholesome, like, you know, like, it's okay, you go at your own pace, little buddy. It was so cute. I always think about that.
エンジェ頑張れ。
Until recently, I thought that there was no way something like magic could save me. After all, magic doesn't exist in this world. That kind of thing's supposedly nothing more than an illusion, a delusion, a daydream. However, Maria Onechan showed me that she could fill her own world with a happiness using a power that's impossible for me. I used to look down on that happiness as something empty. Is the Texas is Stupid episode? Oh god, that one. Oh my god, poor Sandy! Because I didn't believe in magic, I also denied everything else, refusing to believe the happiness that magic gave birth to. Aww. But slowly, bit by bit, Maria Onechan's world grew happier. In the past, I disparaged it, thinking it too pitiful to look at. But that might have been nothing more than jealousy. I was forced to admit that. And now this was my first step in my search towards happiness. Aww. A vast space. A dry wind that could blow without being blocked by anything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my own hair. I see, even the ground might get in my way as I am now. Then I don't need a ground. Brush the ground away, downwards, downwards. Sandy grabbed Patrick with the whip and he literally exploded. Oh my god. Ugh. Patrick's exploded so many times where the top of his head comes off. Now that I think about it, I can't. In other words, it was as though I had floated up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing the ground further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint, and for the first time it began to feel like the sky. Then I understood its vastness. In that instant, I felt the vivid wind go right through my body. In other words, blowing through me without any resistance.
そう、その感覚を維持して。
ええ、わかる。すべての妨げから解放されてるのがわかる。
やったエンジェ、やったエンジェ。魔女の世界への。
Yatta, Angie!
これが魔女の世界。
じゃあエンジェがずっと望んできた魔法を練習してみよう。お友達を呼び出す魔法、エンジェを寂しさから救い出してくれる味方を作り。
The Seven Sisters, right?
エンジェにも僕みたいなお友達が。ウリウリ
今のエンジェにはゼロの海からサクタロほどの友達を呼び出すにはまだまだ早いね。最初は呼び出しやすい友達から練習しよう。
最初は何を？
エンジェはマリアージュ・ソルシエールの魔女、同盟の魔女が刺激する存在はエンジェもまた刺激することが許され、例えばサクタロは私の友、今度は試しにサクタロを呼び出してみ。寂しくて辛い時、サクタロがきっと元気づけてくれるよ。
I see. You could call Sakutaro a being employed by One-chan. So as a witch in the same alliance as her, it's possible for me to summon Sakutaro too. I met Sakutaro's gaze. How pleasant it would be just to have him there be by my pillow. So he could talk to me a bit on lonely nights.
私が呼びかけたら
Oh, she's so happy.
話し相手になってくれる？ウリュウ、エンジェが呼び出してくれるのを楽しみにしてる。ウリュウリュウリュウ。
Looking happy, Sakutaro pressed his head against me like a cat. Suddenly getting a cute younger brother felt a bit confusing, a bit embarrassing, and a bit nice. Unable to understand why I couldn't honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears well up in my eyes.
お姉ちゃん、私頑張るわ。じゃあ練習をしてみよう。同じ同盟の魔女ベアトリーチェの家具を呼び出してみよう。
ベアトリーチェの家具。
Hearing Beatrice's name gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crime on Rokenjima, the public kept going on in a frenzy about how it was a sacrifice ceremony performed by a witch. And that witch was Beatrice. So if the witch did commit that crime, that would make her the culprit who stole my family from me. However, Maria Onechan said that Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions towards Beatrice, she'd get mad, leading to a nasty fight, refusing to talk for a while. At this moment, Onechan was my only close friend, so to avoid worsening her mood, I decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than Onechan's magic teacher. I also believe that a crime was a conspiracy cooked up by Ava. I would definitely expose the truth about that someday.
また体内に妨げが混じってるよ。ごめんなさい。もう一度。
I'd expect no less from you, One-chan. You instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. After shaking my head just once, I reimagined the wind blowing through a vast space.
煉獄の七姉妹。なんだか物騒な名前ね。でも、とっても賑やかで楽しい子たちだよ。 エンジェの新しいお友達になってくれるかもしれない。
Oh, is this in the past?
まずは私が呼び出してみせるね。見てて。
Maria Onechan lifted both hands up to the level of her head and quietly unified her mind. Or maybe it's not in the past, I don't know. The state I wasn't able to reach except by meditating for a long period of time, she reached in the span of a few quick breaths. Then a pale light began to gather in her palms, and one by one the girls began to show themselves. 1, 2, 3 people, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. The way they were summoned one after another in a line was a masterpiece. Sugoi! Incredible! Just like the illustration in Onechan's grimoire, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted Onechan.
煉獄の七姉妹、ここにマリア卿、ご無沙汰を申し上げております。
うん、久しぶりだね。みんなも元気？
我ら家具は刺激されてこそ家具。久しぶりのお呼び出しを心より光栄に思います。
久しぶり。相変わらず美味しいじゃなかった。かわいい。
Best steak? I don't know. Let me think. It doesn't show me where all the seven sisters? Damn it. Oh, there we go, right here. Let's see. I kind of like Belphie a lot. I thought her fight was really funny with Rudolph. Yeah, I think Belphie's my favorite. Belphegor. What about you? What is your guys' favorite girl? Mammon's cute too.
私にも抱かせて、私にも抱かせて。ウリュウ、苦しい。僕は逃げないから離してみんな。
こら、あんたたち、
マリア教の家具を壊す気？とにかく離れなさいよ。抱きしめるの禁止。
そう言ってるサタン姉が一番抱きしめたがって
私は別にあんなふかふかのプニプニのワフワフな。
こら、マリア教とエンジェ様の御前よ。静かになさい、このグマイども。
Bells for me. I'd like eating just as much. That's funny. Yeah, she's cute. They're all cute. They were so energetic. I was shocked by their sudden burst of activity right after they appeared. And on top of that, I was surprised that the innocent Sakutaro was on such good terms with the seven sisters.
意外。サクタロがあんな物騒な連中にこんなに可愛がられてるなんて。
同じ同盟の仲間たちだもん。怖くなんかないよ。
でも万が一彼女らの機嫌を損ねちゃったら、サクタロあっという間にやられちゃいそう。
大丈夫。同盟の魔女とその家具はみんな仲良しなの。だからサクタロも安心して遊べる。それはもちろん私やエンジェも同じだよ。
It was one of the pacts of marriage sorcery. Mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches much respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters, who were normally shady and belligerent, treated fellow alliance members as friends. To the seven sisters, Sakutaro was a mutual friend. He was loved by all of them, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they squeezed and loved him was a bit charming.
マリアージュ・ソルシエールの仲間同士なのね。
At a glance, you'd think that Sakutaro's casual atmosphere and the Seven Sisters' shady one would be like water and oil. It looked like they definitely wouldn't be compatible. I don't think so. And yet they were interacting in a friendly way like it was completely natural. If this wonderful alliance could join all the peoples of the world together. I wonder if everyone in the world would be able to become friends right away.
七姉妹のみんな聞いて。今エンジェは魔法の修行中なの。だからみんなの力を貸してほしいの。
かしこまりました、マリア教。しかし具体的には何を？
君たちを権限させる魔力を私からエンジェに移す。その状態でいつも彼女の身近にいてあげてほしいの。彼女の話し相手になったりしてあげるだけでいい。
恐れながらエンジェ様の魔力では私たち七姉妹すべてを四六時中呼び出し続けるのは容易なことではないかと。
The oldest sister, Lucifer, gazed at my complexion as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In other words, she was saying that the burden might be heavy for me at this point in time.
そういう修行なの。エンジェはみんなが想像しているよりちょっぴり辛いかなとは思うけど、今のエンジェなら挑戦する価値はあると思う。エンジェ、今から彼女たちを権限させる魔力を君に切り替える。つまりエンジェが呼び出したのと同じ状態になるの。
So what Maria Ne-chan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the Seven Sisters materialize, you are continuously burdened with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing a weighted wristband.
ウリュウ、七姉妹全員はエンジェ、いきなりは厳しくない？
ありがとう。でも魔女になるための修行だしね。やれるところまでやってみるわ。
Speaking of eating, what's your guys' favorite food? For me, cheese ravioli. Oh, love cheese ravioli so much. But there's so many good foods, it's hard to pick, huh? The seven of them certainly do seem boisterous, but even if this is for training, having them with me will surely distract me from my loneliness at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but I wanted to give it a shot.
もしも辛かったら無理をしないでね。みんなもエンジェが辛そうだったら加減してあげて。
かしこまりました。わかったね、あんたたち。はい、お姉様。それではエンジェ様、これより我ら煉獄の七姉妹はエンジェ様の家具となります。マリア卿、お願いいたします。
じゃあエンジェ始めてもいい？
いいわ、ちょっと緊張する。
ウリュウ、いきなりは辛
I
いか
can't
も。
tell if this is in the past or
頭
not.
痛になりそうだったらすぐに魔力を減らしてね。
じゃあ魔力ソースをエンジェに移すよ。
In an instant, the inside of my head felt very heavy. This is... I hate that question. I love so many things. I'm sorry. You don't have to pick. I'm sorry. I was just curious. Okay, I have another question. Are you more of a savory or a sweet kind of person? Because I am more of a savory, right? Like, I like savory. Yeah, it's tough. Until then, the inside of my head had only been used for myself. It was almost like it was now being used for the 7 other people. If they just stood there and blinked once or let out a single sigh, that would put a strong pressure on my head.
マリア卿、恐れながらやはり一度に7姉妹全員の負荷は重すぎるかと。
大丈夫。やっぱりダメかな。権限に全勢力を使っちゃってる。
Savory for sure.
日常生活
Base.
と両立できないほどの負荷じゃ意味がない。何しろ魔女としてこれじゃちょっと優雅じゃないね。
ウリュウ、だからいきなりこんなに大勢は無理だって。みんな少し姿を消してあげて。
そうね、人数を減らした方が良さそう。アスモ、姿を消しなさい。
また私？末っ子いじめ反対。たまには上から消えてよ。
それじゃあ私が2番目に消えな。
やだやだやだ。
アスマもレビアネーも騒がないの。そういう騒ぎが余計エンジェ様の負担になるのよ。
あんたが騒ぐのも負担になるのよ、バカサタン。
The 7 sisters started arguing over who should erase themselves first. I can't handle eating really sweet things. I used to as a kid, but I'm less, like, I can't handle it as much now that I'm a little older. Forcing Angie to bear an even greater headache. In the end, they decided to order the order with rock, paper, scissors, and 1, 2, 3 of them disappeared. But even at that level, Angie was still far from comfortable. In the end, once 6 of them had erased themselves, I was finally able to calm my breathing. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just one person is my limit.
これじゃあ7姉妹じゃなくて私一人じゃないですか。エンジ様、ちょっと頼りないです。
I think this is the past then. Mammon, who had won all of the rock, paper, scissors matches and was permitted to retain until the end, grumbled.
ウリュウ、マモン、そんなこと言っちゃダメ。エンジェはまだまだ修行中。大丈夫エンジェ？頭痛大丈夫
Sakutaro stretched up on his tiptoes, trying to pat Angie's head. Watching this, Maria scratched her head, acknowledging that this sudden training had become too difficult.
ちょっと荒行すぎたかな。マリア、これくらいなら全然平気だけど、友達いっぱいいればいるほど楽しいし。
お姉ちゃんの凄さを改めて思い知るわ。
Apparently, when one reaches Maria Onechan's class, one can summon enough people to perform in an orchestra. For a witch apprentice, that's awe-inspiring.
大丈夫ですかエンジェ様。
ごめんなさいね。私にはあなた一人を呼び出すのがやっとみたい。
まあ、私はこれでもいいかな。だって7姉妹で私だけがエンジェ様の家具を独り占めだし。
Lesbians! Lesbians! It's the past for future Angie when she was still at that school. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. Oh my god, lesbian. They should be together.
いかがですか？
I shipped them already. It's done. Done and done. Shipped. Shipped and sent away. And then that's why she was spiteful later, because her lover forgot about her. I get
私
it.
一人なら不可にはなりません。
They're together. That's how it is. They're just in love.
あなた一人ならなんとかね。
よかった。
See how happy she is?
いっぱい修行していっぱい
And she did it, yeah. And she did all that. Remember when Mama was like, right, you promised, right? And she's like, yes, I did promise, you're right. And she was like, anything for you, I'll summon all the sisters, my
そ
love.
していつかきっと七姉妹で揃ってお使いさせてください。約束ですよ。
Yep, there's the promise. After confirming that for the time being, her own materialization wasn't causing any issues, Mammon immediately became cheery again and tried to make me promise to work harder. I see, that definitely fits her with being greed, but maybe you could also call it having a positive attitude.
約束するわ。そのくらいはいつかできなくちゃね。
ありがとう、エンジェ様。この強欲のマモン、その日まで必ずエンジェ様にお仕えします。
Aww. My headache finally abated, and I relaxed both hands, which had been clutching at my head. Then Mammon stuck out her hand, helping me stand back up. Lesbians.
オリュウ、
Lesbians.
マリア、エンジェ、もうこんな時間だよ。
Lesbians.
もう部屋に戻らないと叱られる。
I hadn't expected Sakutaro to talk about the time. I was brought back into reality. As though the light had disappeared, the vast world sunk into the darkness, and I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall sitting on a toilet. One-chan's grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 20 o'clock. Time for lights out. If I showed up late for the roll call before lights out, not only will things get pretty annoying, but it'll cause trouble for my roommates and the floor mates. I couldn't care less about causing them trouble, but I don't want them messing with me later. Let's sigh. My free time by myself is already over for today. I'll sleep, wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow will begin, and another long gray-colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. At that time, One-chan appeared again and spoke.
ほら、エンジェ。
Can't wait for you to play White Album. You will be shipping everyone left and right. Ooh, I'm even more excited now. Yes. Yes, I think when should I do it? After I finish Umineko, I'm going to play a Persona, but after I finish Catherine, I will play White Album. So I'll put it in that. So after Catherine's done, I'll put White Album in. I'll put White Album in the mix. So that's when around when I'll play it. So whenever I finish but I'm working on Umineko, Catherine. I mean, I have a whole bunch of games I'm working on right now, but
マモンを連れて行って。
for sure. Although I have to, it's on Steam, right? I'd forgotten. The moment I'd returned to reality, Mammon's materialization had stopped. One more time I created a strong image of the existence of Mammon in my mind.
もう、エンジェ様いきなり私を消すなんて、そんなんじゃ七姉妹を全員呼ぶなんてなかなかできま。
ごめんなさい。うっかりしてたわ。
人間界に権限するのはすごい久しぶりなので、何かちょっぴりワクワクしてます。ここはどこですか？
聖ルチア学園の寮。ここはその共用トイレの個室。各部屋にトイレはあるから、ここには誰も来ない。
I will help you if you needed to apply the batch. No, it's fan translated. Oh, okay. So let me look into how I... Is it free or do I have to buy it somewhere? Just let me know. I'll buy it if I need to. I just want to know. Unless it's like... If it's 60, I might have to save a little bit more. Because some games are like 60 bucks. But if it's a little lower than that, I'm good. I have a 2-person room, so my roommate is always there. Our relationship is gloomy, and it feels like I'm getting ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so I really can't relax there. As long as I'm not there, she can do what she likes, call her friends over, and chat away. It's more convenient for them if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also a library, but there's a group that uses it as a meeting place, and they're always talking behind my back. Aw. So I don't like to go there. During lunch, it's the bushes behind the school building. During night, it's the stall and the shared bathroom in the dorms. Those are the only hideaways where I can find peace. Oh, okay. I have a Discord there for all the... Okay, sure. So when I get closer to the... When I'm done with Catherine, I'll look into all that, okay? For sure. Thank you for letting me know. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around, signaling with my eyes for Mammon to come with me.
よくわからないけれど、園児様にとってとても快適とは言い難い場所だってことが分かったわ。早く表に出ましょう。ここの空気嫌い。
そう、ここの空気が一番まともなんだけどね。
When I left the bathroom and entered the corridor, because it was near lights out time, several kids who had gone to play in other rooms were dashing back to their own room. When it came for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that we hated and called prison clothes, line up in the hallway, and go through the dorm leader's roll call. On the off chance that someone was late, we would take collective responsibility, and all of the floor mates would have to undergo punishment in the form of volunteer work. As long as I avoided this, the girls would look at me coldly, but they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. They're called Todo Kanai TL if you want to check it. Okay, for sure. Mammon looked at the passing kids and furnishings of the dorms with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. In front of my room was my roommate, who had already changed into her prison clothes, chatting with some kids from the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, the topic of their conversation noticeably changed. They lowered their voices, stealing glances at me. I acted like I didn't notice, went into my room and changed. Then I hastily went out into the corridor. Everyone was already lined up. I went to a place kind of like this, but not quite. We didn't have as much freedom as they did. After badmouthing the place, I noticed something. Having someone listen to your complaints feels surprisingly good. Fortunately, Mammon's form can only be seen by her summoner, me. And of course, there was no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I had to do was speak inside my mind so no one could listen. Magic and the friends it creates might actually not be so bad.
こいつら揃いも揃ってもやしみたい。生きてないって感じ。
やめなさいよ。毎日姿を見られたら大変よ。
夢も希望もかけらほどもない人間なんて、私の姿なんて絶対に見ることもできない下等生物どもが。
あなたはその半魔法の毒素を持つ人間たちが。
園児様が私を権限させてくださる限りは平気です。ただ私を権限するために常に集中しなければならないでしょうから。ほら、同室の子に呼ばれてません？後ろ宮さん、聞こえてる？来週からの終盤なんだけどさ、ちょっと相談があって。
She's probably trying to push a few more chores onto me. My roommate, who never even looked me in the eye normally, was smiling at me unpleasantly. But it'll be easier to have the weekly duties pushed onto me alone rather than doing it together with her. That's a small price to pay for having her to continue to ignore me nonstop. Even so, with a completely shameless excuse, she sidestepped the issue for some reason and insisted on flipping the situation around, as though I should have come forward and done it on my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask for a favor.
何この子、ムカつく。眉間に思いっきり私の杭をねじ込んでやりたい。
Based.
そうね。 ぜひ今度お願いするわ。
Whew. Yeah, having a friend nearby all the time to complain to makes me happier than I thought it would. It's not just your friend, that's your girlfriend, girl. That is your girlfriend. Come on, this is so lesbian. Like, I can't even. Ryu Kushi, or whatever his name is, knew what he was doing. It really was lively with all the seven sisters gathered together. I'm sure just watching them mess around will be a lot of fun. I want to give enough magical power to summon all the seven sisters at once and soon, so I'll train much more. And finally summon the thing I really want to find. Friends.
エンジ様が本当に召喚したいものって何ですか?
Mammon noticed my conversation with myself inside my head and asked me about it blankly. I hesitated to talk about it, but then figured there's no reason to hide it and told her.
お父さん、お母さん、お兄ちゃん。
それってつまり異界の住人を呼び出すのは召喚だけど、死者の魂を呼び戻す反言はかなりの大魔法のはずですよ。
I know. So much that even Maria One-chan can't do it at all. But that's the thing I want to find with magic the most. I've been warned that it's very difficult high-level magic, so great that in the worst case, I might not necessarily reach that point even after training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. A vessel is vital for making magic succeed, whether it's summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have that, a magic that would have already been difficult is now hopeless. That's right. I have nothing to remember Dad or Mom by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to remember just Oni-chan by, and that's this.
そのピンクの玉の頭飾り？何それ？言っちゃ悪いけど、エンジェ様にはちょっと安物っぽい。
昔、お父さんに内緒で、お母さんと一緒にお兄ちゃんに会って、遊園地に遊びに行ったことがあるの。そこのクレーンゲームの景品。
I know it's cheap, I realize that it doesn't match my style, and I get that it's too childish. But this hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. Aww. I think I'm gonna save here.